autonomous weapons, the logic, as I understand it, it is not so much about democratic values. It's more that you think the technology is not ready for your models to be used fully autonomously. Is that right? So you have a different view of the capabilities of the technology, perhaps, than the Department of War.
Yeah, I think there's actually two things. One is this issue that you just mentioned, which is you can think of this as like a supplier of aircraft who says this aircraft is not safe to fly above a certain altitude or to turn at a certain speed. We didn't make these systems to be safe if you use them in that particular way, right? They're not suitable for this use case. Like, we haven't made them or manufactured them to work well to be safe for this use case.
And in that, was there anything specific? I mean, your model was used in Venezuela. It's being used in Iran. Is there anything in these existing use cases that has worried you?
So one thing I want to say is we started with a substantially more limited contract that enabled a more limited number of use cases that I think is in force maybe even until today. This was all about negotiating a new contract. So we had even a substantially more limited contract for quite a long time, and that more limited contract, they didn't run into problems with it on the ground. So none of this was driven by, we have concerns right now about what the Department of War was doing,
so
right?
Iran is fine, and Venezuela was fine.
I'm not expressing an opinion either way on military policy or government policy.
I'm just saying if you use of your models.
Yeah, use of our models. If you provide a service, you don't get to decide where that service is used. There's this operational side of military decisions. Of course, we don't have any say about that. What we do have say over is this question of like very broad use cases, right? It's not about any administration. It's not about any policy. It's like, how should this technology be used in general? I actually think there's a lot of value here, and I want to make sure the Department of War understands this as well. This isn't about concerns we have about actions they've taken or already taken. Like, we had a much more limited contract. We never had, concerns about this contract. This is about going forward. How should we think about the uses and the governance of this technology?
I think going forward, their perspective would be, and they would probably use the analogy of a fighter jet or something, and they would say, listen, we have to have suppliers who we can trust, and they provide us with tools that we can use in combat, and we can't have some guy in Silicon Valley suddenly saying, no, you can't use it for this, that, or the other. And their view would be, they need to have full operational ability to use it, and you are somewhat capriciously, in their view, putting all of these constraints on it.
Yeah, so I would say we agree with them. We don't want to do that. We agree on 99%, not only the contract we were operating on together, we agree on like this much broader set of things that we're haven't even done yet or are just starting to do. So, I just want to say again, like, there's so much more agreement here than there is disagreement.
I mean, listening to you, it does seem to me extraordinary that, you end up in this situation where you're going to be taken out of all work with the Pentagon. That said, the other, because I've been thinking about this quite a lot, the logical conclusion of total control by the Pentagon and no ability for the supplier to do anything is surely some sort of effective nationalization of those AI companies that work with the Pentagon. Do you think that's a risk?
I think over the coming years, we're going to have a discussion about the role of AI and the government. AI is becoming something that has implications at the level of all of humanity, not for national security in the sense of the contest between nations, for national security in the sense of, can individuals use this technology for destruction, for national security in the sense of, are the models themselves a risk to national security, for economics in terms of their impacts. And it's not about one particular administration, it's not about one particular department, it's not about specific military operations. Anyone who thinks that this is what that's about, that's a misunderstanding. This is bigger than that. This is big. This is about the next administration too. This is about, Congress when there's different Congress people. This is about, a different geopolitical situation that we're in than the one we're in now. We should not make it about what's happening right now. And the thing we're dealing with here is AI is very powerful. So there's actually a dual dilemma here where AI has the power to make private actors more powerful than they've ever been before. Folks have, some people have criticized me for that. You think as a private actor you're more powerful than government. Actually, I've been worried about the risk of that for the longest time. Like, I'm worried about that. This technology abstractly in the hands of government, not just the US government, other governments, democratic governments, autocratic governments, has the ability to vest them with unprecedented power as well.